Okay, in this video we're going to explore gender equality in the workforce and how gender equality has improved over the last 30 to 40 years. So basically the role of women in society has changed dramatically since the 60s. An increasing number of women are now working or in paid employment, and this has occurred for a range of different reasons, some legal, political, social, economic and demographic reasons. So the focus on gender equality has led to significant changes within businesses and had brought about significant changes within the goals of businesses. So workplace gender equality is achieved when people are able to access and enjoy the same rewards, resources and opportunities regardless of gender. That's the strict definition of gender equality. People are able to access these and enjoy the same rewards, resources and opportunities regardless of their gender. So in terms of some key statistics, women now comprise 46.2% of all employees, so just less than half, and the female participation rate is now at 59.3% compared to 70.4% for males. So what that means is the participation rate is a measure of all the people over 15 that are either working or looking for work. So if you're retired, then you wouldn't be included in the participation rate, you'd be in the denominator but not the numerator. If you're at school, even if you've got a job, or at university, you're not included as part of the labour force, so you wouldn't be part of the numerator. So it's basically 59.3% of females are either working or looking for work. The other 41% are either retired, they're still at school, or they're just not interested in getting a job. And that's still less than males, but it's significantly higher than what it was 30 or 40 years ago. So while Australia has made progress in gender equality in terms of education, health and workforce participation, there's still a range of gaps which we'll talk about throughout the next few slides. So in terms of gender inequality, some things that still exist is that men on average still earn 17.3% more than women that are on full-time earnings, and that's despite the fact that more women will complete higher education. Career advancement, only 14.2% of chair positions, so people on like boards of companies are women, 23.6% of directors, and 15.4% of CEOs. So only 15% of CEOs are women. 27% of all management personnel are women. Women will generally accumulate less retirement and superannuation savings. The average super balances for women are 52% less than men, which is a staggering amount. But I mean, one of the reasons why they are generally less is because women are more likely to leave the workforce for periods of time. So that might come about from the fact that they're more likely to have children or other disruptions to their working. But it's still significantly higher than what many believe it should be. So more and more single retired women are living in poverty because they don't have enough superannuation to support themselves. Men have less, and then on the flip side, so these are probably these are reasons why there's inequality in terms of the access that women or the opportunities that women have. In terms of men, just one the other way, men have less access to family-friendly policies like parental leave and flexible working arrangements based around child rearing. So there's still this sort of mentality amongst the workforce that the female in the relationship is more likely to be involved in the child rearing process. So only 38% of large organisations provide any kind of secondary carers leave for the non-birth parent when a child is born. So while there's maternity leave, very few businesses will offer paternity leave. The benefits of improved gender equality in the workforce. So Goldman Sachs estimates that the rise in female employment since 1974 has boosted our economic performance by 22%. So the fact that more and more women are in the workforce than ever has allowed for increased growth in terms of the amount of goods and services we're able to produce and much higher GDP per capita, much higher material living standards for society. Further 6% increase in female participation would boost our GDP by another 11%. So if we can get an extra 6% of women into the workforce, that will have another significant boost in our overall level of production. Firms that have moved from no female leadership to 30% representation in upper management saw an increase in 15% in their net revenue margins. So basically what net revenue means is their revenue after taking away a lot of their major expenses. Most firms that are hiring more women are experiencing a much higher increase in their revenue margins. Having women in management roles is said to lead to more transparency and accountability. So that idea that women are often a lot more... so there's a view that having more women in managerial roles makes firms more transparent in terms of their behaviour and their actions. So there's less likely to be fraud or conspiracies going on. It also allows for more diverse opinions. which can save companies from making poorer decisions. So that idea of having a more of a women's perspective on things can often help businesses to generate more revenue. Generating more employment opportunities for women also leads to workplaces becoming an employer of choice. So there's this word of an employer of choice, which basically means that women are more likely to choose employers that are prone to providing opportunities for women, which kind of makes sense. For women, increasing the business's chance of hiring the most skilled workers. So businesses that have a track record of hiring a lot of women and also promoting them to managerial roles are more likely to attract the best candidates for positions, and therefore that can help to boost their revenue as well. Providing more opportunities for women also helps to reduce employee turnover, so they save money in terms of like retraining costs and all the costs involved in getting a new worker as well. So ways to improve gender equality in the workforce. So we've talked about the benefits. Some ways that we can do that is providing equal pay for comparable work. So if two people are on the same level, I suppose, or have the same experience, that they get paid the same. Removing barriers to equal participation of women in the workforce, so giving them every chance that a male has in a range of different industries, and that involves opening up occupations and industries so that there's jobs available, not just in low-skilled areas, but also in leadership roles, regardless of people's gender. Eliminating discrimination on the basis of gender, so particularly in relation to not hiring people because of family commitments, or the fact that hiring a male because they're less likely to leave work to have a baby and have certain responsibilities that the male is less likely to have. Providing more flexible work arrangements for those in caring arrangements, so having things like caring for children, childcare centres, job sharing, so that idea of people come in at different hours and share the same job, which can often be attractive to people that have young kids because they can work around their kids' time at school or childcare and so on and so forth. Subsidised childcare is another example of flexible working arrangements. So some examples like Qantas and Optus have many universities provide childcare on site. So again, trying to enhance the opportunities for women to get skills who happen to have children while they're at university. Recent improvements in gender equality in the workplace. The term indirect discrimination, basically that means that where we're failing to promote women as easily as men, or there's a bias in the recruitment process towards hiring either men or women, but in this case mainly women. The ABS found that when they concealed the gender of applicants in the recruitment process, a higher number, that would be the wrong hire there, of women were selected for managerial positions. So when the employers didn't know whether it was a man or a woman going for the job, the women's credentials were more likely to get them the job. So this idea of blind recruitment includes removing personally identifiable information from resumes, so getting rid of their name, their gender, their age, their education, and purely focusing on what they can bring to the organisation. It helps to ensure employees are recruited purely based on merit and helps also to create a more diverse work environment. So this idea of blind recruitment is something that's very new in the recruitment business and helping to provide more, I suppose, access for managerial roles for women. There has been a sharp increase in the number of women appointed as company directors. So in 2015, 42% of all new directors appointed to Australia's top 200 companies, so the companies that you're investing in with the ASX, were women. This is well above the 8% that was in 2009. So 42% in 2015 are women being elected to these boards as opposed to 8% back in 2009. The Australian Institute of Company Directors is targeting 30% of all ASX directors by 2018. So 42% were women last year, but there's still probably only 15 to 20% of all directors are women because over the last 30 years. So the target is to get to 30% by 2018. Thank you.